Hey folks, Doug Holmes here, Downburst Cedars. Just doing a quick update on some stuff I planted Memorial Weekend. It's kind of a spring planting update. This is like a little hidey hole spot we got here. Planning on converting this into clover. So I sprayed it off, mowed it and sprayed it this spring, and then planted buckwheat in here. So you can kind of see I've got a bunch of buckwheat popping. Planted this about 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't able to actually like cultipack it in, which I normally like to do. So, but considering that, I've had quite a bit of rain, so it actually is looking pretty decent. So it's just a kind of expanding an existing clover field we've got. It's really to give us another tree stand option. we've got a stand up in that nice big white pine there, and then we've got a couple of apple trees. The bigger one here we planted, at least 5 years ago. Probably pretty close to taking the cage down on that one, probably next year. And this guy, we actually transplanted from a different spot where it wasn't doing very well. You can see it's kind of hurting, but hopefully it'll like this spot a little better. I'll probably thin out these jack pines a little bit more to give it some more light, but I wanted to see if it would survive the transplant before I did that. So it's actually looking pretty good for being transplanted this spring. But so yeah, this buckwheat's looking pretty decent, especially for not being able to cultipack and get it packed in. We did have quite a bit of rain since I planted it 2 weeks ago, but yeah, looking good. I'll be coming back in end of August, September to put down some clover with the downburst cedar. Probably do a nurse crop of winter rye to help that along, and then we'll probably come back and frost seed with the downburst again next winter, just to guarantee this thing gets a good establishment. So hey folks, so we're continuing on here, spring planting update. This is one of our spots that we put Nitro Boost into. Did this full no-till into the existing crimson clover and rye that came back from last year's planting. You see, I think it's been about 2 weeks since I planted, so it's definitely missed a couple spots here and there with the spraying, but you can definitely see quite a bit of stuff popping out here. Looks like a pea. Looks like maybe buckwheat. Yeah, this is looking pretty decent so far. I'll check back on this in another couple of weeks and see how it's looking, but yeah, overall I got a pretty decent kill on this. And some of the stuff, I wasn't able to roll it and spray it until a few days after I put the seed down because it was raining while I did it. But we'll keep going and check the rest of them. All right, so we're at our second spot. I'm gonna be putting clover in this fall, so I mowed it, sprayed it, planted buckwheat as just a conditioner, just get something growing that I can terminate really easily to plant the clover into. So it's kind of a long strip, connects one of our bigger plots up towards the mature timber up there, and then comes down and actually winds around, connects to another plot further down. So we're trying to make kind of travel corridors and get that circular movement of deer. But yeah, you can see the buckwheats again coming in pretty good. Everywhere I look, I'm seeing buckwheat seedlings, and this didn't have wasn't a ton of thatch, but this one I was able to roll or cultipack in after I seeded, or that first one I showed you, the small one. Mainly I couldn't even fit. We got an 8-foot cultipacker, so it's tough to get in that small area. But yeah, I think cultipating is definitely a good idea. Definitely makes a difference. So yeah, excited to see how this buckwheat does this year. we'll keep going. We've got some more Nitro Boost plots to look at. Actually, the one up there, we'll do that next. And then I've got some spring planted switchgrass, different method of switch. Let's take a look at those. All right, so we're on the second annual plot with Nitro Boost, no-till planted with a downburst into last year's crop. So this one's actually about a half acre annual, and then we've got a half acre of perennial clover on this side over here. But this one actually looks, I think, better than the first one we looked at. Definitely seeing a lot of peas, soybeans, buckwheat. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Once again, I definitely missed a strip here with the sprayer, but oh well, that happens. It'll be fine. Yeah, again, it's only been a couple weeks, so once this thatch layer breaks down a little more and the stuff we planted, the Nitro Boost starts growing a little taller, I think it's going to look a lot different. We'll check back in a couple more weeks. This hat's pretty interesting. This is, like I said, this is Durana clover. It was it's a few years old now. It's probably 4 years old. We probably neglected mowing it a little bit. It was starting to get overtaken with some grasses. So actually, I sprayed probably a month ago with drawing a blank, the grass killer, the grass specific herbicide, and I realized that I didn't have any surfactant, and I know that particular one, you really need the surfactant for it to be effective. So I was trying to figure out what to do. It's a long drive to the store to get some, so I ended up putting 1 quart per acre glyphosate that I had in with it, mixed it. That has surfactant in it, so I figured, well, that should do the job. So I was a little nervous. I hit my clover with some gly along with the clethodim. Finally thought of it. And at first it was definitely nuked the grass, but the clover was also definitely set back. But 4 weeks later, you would never even know. It looks pretty darn good. So I'm hoping this will just keep filling out this summer and get this plot back on track with really minimal efforts. All right, we'll go check out some of the switchgrass planting next. All right, so this is one of the switchgrass spots that we did this year. Tried a new method. Basically just came in as early as I could in the spring, mowed these areas out, sprayed them with glyphosate and simazine at the same day. I didn't mix them, but and then waited a couple weeks, sprayed glyphosate again, and then seeded the switchgrass at the same time. I think right after I sprayed the second spraying of gly. You can see we got a really good kill on everything. It's only been about 2 weeks or so since I seeded the switch, so I'm not terribly surprised that I'm not really seeing much yet. But yeah, I don't think that's definitely not switch. Yeah, one thing with switch is you got to be super patient with it. So this is connecting in to a strip of switch that I planted just a year ago, I guess, well, like a year and a half ago. So this strip right here kind of curves around that way. And this is the area, it's part of our farm. That's just a bunch of jack pines mostly. Not a ton of quality cover here, all in jack pine. And this one switch strip, man, the deer were drawn to it like a magnet. There's just constantly deer in it. So definitely wanted to do some more. Keep expanding it. You see, this is this is definitely switchgrass. So that planting did really well. I did more of a traditional, sprayed it off the fall before and frost seeded with some simazine. I think that spring that after I frost seeded. So more traditional method definitely definitely works well. We'll see how this does. This was kind of a last minute. I didn't decide until hunting season. I saw all the deer in the switch we had here. That's when I decided, man, we need to expand this. So let's figure out a way to get it going. I'm not a very patient person. So yeah, it was about another, it's probably about a ½ acre total area covered with this, but I'm planting it in strips. The downburst you can control, and I can very easily seed these narrow little strips without just broadcasting that expensive seed off into the weeds. So yeah, you can see I'm actually crossing the existing switch strip again here. It looks like it's coming in really nice. So yeah, hopefully this takes. Like I said, just gotta be patient. Check back in another few weeks and see what we got. But I mean, at a minimum, I'm happy I'm not seeing any other weeds in here. I think the simazine definitely does its job. So yeah, this just kind of winds around. See, there's just going to be kind of a random pattern of switchgrass. Lots of pockets of shrubs, trees in between. So it should be good if it works. I think it will really improve the quality of this cover here, and if we look at some deer bedding in this area, this would be a great spot as far as our layout of the property and strategy for that. It's kind of centrally, it's kind of right in the center of the property, so this is our road. But yeah, it keeps on going that way, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. All right, we'll go take a quick look at the last annual plot, see how that's looking. Thanks for watching. All right, this is the third annual plot that we planted 2 weeks ago. So if you've watched any of the videos on our YouTube channel, this is the plot that we have a bit of a hairy vetch problem. Not sure, I've never planted vetch in here, so I'm not sure where it came from. You can see there's some remnants of it here, but I think doing a spring planting into this is the way to go. I've been waiting until the fall to plant, but then that vetch is 6 feet high and it's just too much thatch to do no-till. Yeah, you can see we've got quite a bit of stuff popping up through this thatch. This is, I would say, already looking better. So this is the Nitro Boost again in here. So we got some peas coming. So yeah, hopefully it's getting, knocking that vetch down and spraying it earlier. Hopefully I'm going to keep it from replenishing its own, from reseeding basically. You can see on the edge of the plot, you can see what it would have looked like had I done that. This is, I mean, right now it's only about waist high, but if I would have waited until, end of July, beginning of August to put in a full crop, it's a bear dealing with this stuff. So switchgrass on the edge of this. This is actually the 4th year for this switch. So it's looking really good. Like I said, you just gotta be super patient with the switchgrass, I think. Yeah. This will be the deer we're drawing to this stuff like a magnet. See, we've got a box plant right there. Definitely saw way more activity out in this. This used to be just a 2.5 acre open field. We'd do rye and clover. We used to plant corn in it. And yeah, since we added these switchgrass features, we definitely got more daytime deer activity. Not wait until right at dark to come out here. Switch on this side looks considerably better. You still see the stuff from last year. So this is over my head here. So probably 7 foot. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it looks in this 4th year. I'm guessing it's going to be even better than the 3rd year. So some of these switches, like once you get it in, it's pretty permanent. So shouldn't have to mess with us at all for a long time. All right, folks, thanks for watching. All right, I lied. I got one more switchgrass area to show you. So I think I've mentioned before, we've got a power line running kitty corner from corner to corner on our place. That gate right up there is our northwest corner, and then you can see this power line runs on a diagonal all the way to our southeast corner, half a mile that way. So they just put these poles in a couple of years ago, so you can kind of see the remnants of the road here that they built to be able to put these poles in. So this is some pretty tough ground. I mean, they scraped all the topsoil off. Oh, there goes a deer right there. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, I mean, so I've been seeding this. Seeded it once the right way, and then I frost seeded it again the next winter because I'm impatient and it didn't look that great to me. But man, this is everywhere I look, I'm seeing switchgrass out here. Yeah, these dudes. So yeah, pretty good. I guess we just can't say it enough. Got to be patient with this stuff. Look at these guys. Look at what they're growing in. It's like beach sand. Pretty amazing. I don't think you could get anything else to grow in this. I don't even know if rye would grow in this. Pretty cool plant. All right, thanks for watching. I'll give a little check in on the apiary here. My brother Matt is the bee guy, so figured he'd want to see an update on how his hives are doing. You can see there's 4 here, but we've only got 2. 2 active hives this year. Bees are pretty docile, but I don't really like bees, so I'm standing back and reaching the camera out. So there you go, Matt. I think both hives have got quite a few bees coming in and out, so should be a good sign. Ooh. That is a pile of bees.